writing a workout.
Yeah, she didn't really do it yet. She has her first workout on Tuesday actually. So he did her tour and all that stuff. So she starts Tuesday. Yeah, she's very excited for it.
He's the best.
She's very excited about it. She worked for the Tesla. Oh, really?
She's a much bigger deal than him.
Our all of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Certainly mine.
Yeah, yeah. I heard my wife knows each other forever. You guys get back from your birthday days, right?
It was yesterday?
Yeah, the small one.
Oh, okay.
The big one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't heard anything about it. It is.
So anyways, yeah, she's very excited.
Good. Yeah, she'll love it. She'll love it.
She met Joe the most.
Oh, he's the best. That guy,
He's funny.
I'd like to bottle his energy.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, everyone, how you doing? What do you know? Live in the trade. Or something like that. That's what I tell myself, Eric.
February 15th. Yeah, February 15th. Yep. We still have some old school.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Yeah.
When is
They're ahead of schedule. Yeah, they're ahead. They're throwing. So is Gordon Burns. They're actually it could be. Oh yeah. Well, you could tell something. You could tell something was wrong, right? Because he's so dumb. And they did not. When Martinez still got the off. He's he can frustrating. Not throw strikes.
control is definitely there.
Yep.
It's nice for 102 or whatever.
Right. So for strikes.
Yeah.
Sir, how are you? Senator?
Yeah, so I'm gonna
Good morning, sir.
Governor
See you.
Martin I will be.
She's back on?
No, she's gonna be there. She won't be there until Saturday afternoon.
Okay.
That's the plan now, at least. And then I'm going down on Thursday because GPL and
Yeah.
Unfortunately, last two
Neil's
weeks
got
we've
his
all
group
been
up.
at
Yeah.
that website up. You see that?
No, I didn't. I got to look at it. Figure out.
We are working that, yes, no, we are.
They want to go.
That
GPL's back out. The figure level. Yeah, I'm on that board. I just
Yes.
too much with GPL.
Yes, yeah, we have to figure that out.
Okay.
That is one of the
Keep
top.
looking.
Okay.
probably,
Yeah. And then if we could do, look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife. Totally. Yeah. Maybe if we can just have that.
Yeah.
We're
Oh,
No,
sorry,
you
yeah.
did.
construction on that project
Oh,
in
sure.
June, where we're looking to concept end of this month. And
Yeah, we'll call the meeting to order, so thank you all for being here. Thank you. We've got a technology problem connecting one member, so if we correct that, he'll be added on. And then I would have been late also, but I had a flat tire this morning, so I just came directly here instead of going where these guys went. But thank you all for being here. So let's start with a roll call. Sure.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning. Member Campbell?
Here.
Member Hall?
Present.
Member Ortega will join us shortly. Member Cohen?
Present.
Member Myers?
Present.
Member Epstein?
Present.
Member Gallego?
Present.
Member Zerker? Sorry.
Here.
Member Shira?
Present.
Chairman Graham?
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, start with announcements, of which I don't have any. You've seen the work we've done in the past 2 weeks since we were here. Quite a bit of it. I had nothing to do with it except for a few phone calls. So thank you all for the heavy lifting and getting us going, including the website, which I think is great to have that stood up already. Anything else anybody want to add? Okay. So with that, yes.
What is the website URL?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What is the website URL?
Uh,
Do we know?
we
Mr. Chairman, Senator Epstein will get that to you and announce it to the public during this meeting.
Wonderful.
If you, Mr. Chairman, Senator Epstein, if you go to the Maricopa.gov website and in the search tab there, Google Stadium District, it'll come up.
Sorry, Senator Epstein, I apologize. I will re-forward you an email that may be easier for you, that has the link at the bottom of that email.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
And that email also summarizes quite a bit of the stuff we've been doing, so, yeah. Thank you. So with that, we'll start with the agenda. And the first item is approval of the January 6, 2026 meeting minutes. Those were in your package. Hopefully everybody had a chance to review them. And I would look for a motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? The motion passes. The next-
Mr. Chairman,
okay.
if you don't mind, can you tell me who made the motion to approve the minutes?
Andrew Cohen made the
Okay.
motion to approve.
In the second, okay, thank you, just for the clerk minutes,
thank you.
apologize.
The next item is the annual report to the clerk of the board, review and potential approval. I'll let our friend over here go through that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, board members, just wanted to make you aware, this is a statutory report required of the Stadium District to make to the clerk of the board. It's not something the previous board had ever voted on, but given that it was the first statutory accomplishment, the new board wanted to put it on your radar. I don't think that you all need to vote on it today, but again, just wanted to make sure that you were aware. I, as staff, will work with the finance department to get that submitted on this board's behalf. But of course, just wanted to bring it to your attention. I can take any questions if you have any.
Mr. Chair. I'm not sure where this goes, but we did receive a couple of documents, the Special District, Stadium District Annual Report, and it said, see the attachment, but I had no attachment. And is this where I should talk about that, Mr. Chair, or is that another part of the agenda?
You can talk about it now.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Senator Epstein, sorry about that. We can get you the attachments. The original PDF did say see our audited financial statements, our board roster, and our schedule of meetings for the year, which was all the 3 requirements in that report. So we'll make sure that you have that handy today.
Okay, I was looking specifically for the financials.
Mr. Chairman, Senator Epstein, we're going to confirm that they were in your email, and if not, we'll get you a physical copy today.
Okay, and then, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
The second, we had a report of all of the events, which I appreciated very much, thank you. I appreciated that they had the attendance numbers, but not the dollars. And so can we get the revenue that was generated from each of those events? Great, thanks.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, sorry, Board Member Ortega has joined us.
Welcome, Board Member Ortega. Can you hear us? We're going to hope so. Okay, but he's on. Okay. All right, great. Thank you.
John, you want me to touch just briefly on the revenues?
Sure.
Okay. So we, when we took over in 2018, booking the building, obviously 20 was a zero because of COVID. And then coming out of COVID, 21 was a little slower. But typically over the years, select artists would bring in 500 to 600,000 in revenue. And so since 18, it's a little over 6 million that we have brought in. So high mark in 23 was about 3.1, 1.5 the year before that. This year, we're in 24, we're looking at about 644,000. So that'll give you an idea of where we're at, Senator Epstein. But year one, 58,000, then 456,000. Skip 20, 238, 1.5, 3.1, 644. But we can get you those numbers too, so you have them.
Perfect, thank you.
And it's interesting because of all of our revenues, booking the building is, traditionally it was about 1% of all revenues, so it's a very small number. And we've now tripled the business that we used to do, and so it's still, 3% of our revenue.
Well done.
John, I'm assuming also, Derek, that with the impairment of the building during construction, or when we get to that point, you'll have a pro forma for that and how that impairment's going to look.
We will, yeah, and trying to schedule it out, Andrew, making sure that if we're going to have cranes in there, it can't interfere with fans and attendance.
Good point. The next item is discussion of the potential date or dates to tour Chase Field.
Yeah, I'll leave it up to this group. We do want to tour Chase Field, take you all through it. I think it could probably get done in about an hour-and-a-half session. We would have JLL sit down with all of us first in the boardroom, go over some of the areas that we're not going to be able to get into, like up on the roof and some of the work that we're doing right now underneath the bleachers and places we're not going to want to crawl into. And then we'll go take a tour, and we can finish up back up in the boardroom and answer any questions from the tour if need be. But we're willing to do it whenever this group is ready.
Mr. Chairman, given that Fridays have been open for the majority of this group, perhaps we tack this on to one of our next board meetings and have a board meeting here and make our way over to Chase Field.
Certainly works for me. Is that good for everybody else?
Works for us.
Okay. We'll make sure we get that out in writing also, so everybody can put it on their calendar. Great. Thank you, Derek. The next item is an update on the executive director job description. Zach, I think you're going to lead that too.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Yeah, the next two I've called out separate from the item 6 staff administrative updates, just because these are the two most important tasks the board's engaging in right now. They are both also on executive session, so I'll hold on maybe talking particulars of the executive director job description until then, when we can have that personnel item. But on item number 5, on the lease, I am happy to take any non-legal questions or perhaps walk people through the current MOU that we have with the team as a preface to our conversation in executive session about possible lease extensions.
Great, thank you. Any other questions of Zach?
John, one other thing, and I don't know if this is the appropriate spot, but we do need to figure out some housekeeping for the accounting of the proceeds that are currently coming in and where we're going to go ahead and curate that, where that data is going to come to, where the money is going to go to, where the money is going to sit, and then who's going to be responsible for, obviously this board is responsible, but who's physically going to be responsible for delving out that money when that time comes. I just want to be very sensitive to the fact I think money's already coming in. DOR is starting to look at it. City of Phoenix is getting it. So we will need to get a full accounting, not only of the dollars, but the transaction behind those dollars that created those dollars. I'd like to start to look at that.
So I think that's a good point. We did have a conversation walking in. Zach, you might just comment on where things stand right now.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Cohn, great question. To date, ADOR has started collecting money from the transaction privilege tax, but it is yet to facilitate transfers to the county treasurer, which is where the Stadium District 2 funds currently sit. So we're in the process of getting that administrative work done. Hopefully, we have that done before our next Stadium District Board meeting in 2 weeks. We're also in contact with the City of Phoenix. That has come up this week as well. They're beginning to collect, and we'll make that administrative connection as well. So the entities responsible for collecting and segregating those funds have started. We've just yet to transfer it to the Stadium District. And so I can come prepared with a report, Mr. Cohn, and an understanding of what ADOR and the city are collecting in that data for the next meeting, and possibly do a presentation if everybody's okay with that.
That'd be great, but I think the granularity behind the dollars would really be helpful for me, so then we can at least drive and understand what's going to happen as we proceed forward with new events and new processes and everything else. So it would really be good to see all of the data underlying the dollars.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Cohn will get as much data from every agency that we work with on.
And it would be my intent to share it with the group when that all comes in, and then be able to report accordingly.
Great idea. Thank you, both of you. The next item is staff administrative update.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As was mentioned in the emails out from council, we have our website up and running, as well as an overview of the Stadium District, what it is, where it's come from. We'll continue to work on a more detailed FAQ with you, Mr. Chairman, but I think as of now that covers the basics. And please, any board members, let me know if you know of any specific questions that you hear from the public about what this board does or what its purposes are, so that we can be as transparent as possible. But I thought that was a highlight to get the website up and running. Last meeting, when we were talking about executive director hiring, we also discussed the potential of hiring a consultant to be an owner's rep type for the Stadium District. And I had mentioned possibly working with the City of Phoenix on if any of their contracts were live for that. None of their contracts are live, so this board will need to do its own solicitation. So I will get to work on putting together a proposal for this board to go out for qualified bidders.
If I could, I think start that process would be good, but I think once we have an executive director, they may want to go a different direction on how they want to handle that information and who they would want to have reporting to them as it relates to it. The stadium, the basketball stadium, a little different because it was owned by the city, but we still have to account for the dollars, even that this is currently controlled by the district. So keep going, but I just do think that this executive director search needs to be have some urgency put behind it, so we're not stepping on anything that they may want done differently.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Cohn, we'll work in parallel so that we give the executive director peak flexibility in when he's hired, he or she is hired.
Mr. Chair, did you go past, or was the number 5 on our agenda, update on the Stadium District? Is that what, Zach, you sort of lumped it all together there?
Yeah, but go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, Senator MC, I said that I was happy to go through a non-legal briefing on the current MOU with the team, so I'm happy to take any questions or go through any of that document now that was provided to everyone in their first packet, or we could hold all of that for the legal advice and lease negotiation topic in executive session.
Okay, I also have a couple of comments or questions on
Please.
that, if I may. So I've always been curious about the arrangement whereby the team is the management company, and it seems like that was a good arrangement, but don't we have a requirement as a public entity to do an RFP for a management company as opposed to just assuming we'll keep working with the team?
Mr. Chairman, Senator Epstein, that's a great question. I would lean on counsel for that, so perhaps we can take that question in executive session, given that that has to do with public procurement laws and advice to this board. In the past, the team is the only entity that has ever occupied the building with the Stadium District. And to preface the MOU, and one of the reasons why we have to have a lease extension conversation is because the MOU was a document to settle litigation, right? And in the preamble of that document, it talks about a more thorough lease to come. And we've had many conversations over the years that ultimately culminated in the legislation that was passed this year and us being here today. So I'm happy to have that conversation and get legal advice, but I can't answer that for you today.
If I can jump in for a second. So I think it's going to refer back to what the lease agreement says, and where you really think about this, this is the equivalent of a triple net tenant lease controlled by one tenant. And so we really need to make sure, if you're worried about guardrails that a management company would have, they're just going to go ahead and enforce the written instruction in the lease agreement anyway. So it may not make sense to have another layer of expense inside of that. So I think we should focus on that and have that more fulsome conversation from a legal perspective in e-session. But if you think about it, there's one tenant, right? And I would hate to see us spending money on fees for that one tenant who is going to be solely responsible for all of the items that are covered under the lease.
Okay, Mr. Chair. So the Sports and Tourism Board manages things with, they've hired a management company for the stadium out on the other side of town. And so I thought there's that precedent, and I don't know all the ins and outs, but it's the kind of thing that I think the public might want to hear us understand in public as opposed to executive session.
Well, I'm happy to have a very fulsome, robust discussion in the public, because the implication is that a discussion in e-session would be different than that in the public. Some things we're just required to do by law. But I can tell you that what goes on at the football stadium is different because there are different funding mechanisms. So I think it's really important for us to kind of focus on the legislation and the lease and deal with what we have here. I don't think that it's a good representative example to use what they're doing out there here, but we can have a legal conclusion provided to us by counsel in e-session.
I agree. Good point, but let's defer that to the e-session.
Mr. Chair?
Sure.
Can I request that, because it doesn't need to be a belabored discussion right now, but can we get a document of some kind from legal counsel that is for the public to see some of the information you've just presented and to understand the details of it, that we don't have to belabor it in discussion right now, but it might be really nice for the public to know.
Yeah, I think we always want the public to know what we're doing. And the truth of the matter is, when the MOU was agreed to, there was a fairly robust public process to expose that MOU before it was even voted on by the county. But I'm very open for that. And I think when we do this summary with the tour, I think it would be helpful for those that weren't involved in that process to just get a timeline of all the items that were done when the settlement and the MOU was signed, because I don't want to paint the appearance like there was just an MOU and it wasn't put in and vetted by the public. It was vetted by the public for a long period of time. So I think it's worthwhile at least getting a debrief on what had happened to get to that point. I think that would help not only the people on this board, but also help the general public.
Thanks.
That'd be great.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Anybody else? And then, I guess the discussion of future agenda items. If anybody has them now, you can let us know, or if you think of them when you walk out of here, let me or one of us, or Zach or Angela know, and we'll make sure we post.
From being the treasurer, I just want to make sure that we would have the right to agendize anything as it relates to these accounts, because that is something that we're really going to want to make sure is transparent and people understand when there's money circulating around.
Great. Anything else on the agenda that you want to talk about now, or just get back to us?
You know, we talked about the concept of bringing in some of the JLL folks to introduce themselves to you all and talk about what they've gone through at this point. While they're going through the assessment, we have a weekly call with them, and they came on this morning saying they were willing to come out on Friday, March 6th, to come and address the group and the board. So hopefully we can put that on a future agenda.
Would it make sense to do that at the stadium?
They're also going to be there.
Tour, because then they can point out things that we're not aware of that they're contemplating firsthand.
Yeah, they're going to be there too. I think it'd be good for them to be at a meeting too, so that if anyone's watching or.
Where are they located?
Atlanta.
Okay. Great.
They're everywhere. We have an office here too. Yeah, you know that.
Okay.
Yeah. But their sports division is out of Atlanta.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
And then just if we could have future discussion about tours of a few other facilities that are comps. You know, how does that look like? How many want to go? What's the best time? I don't think it's always great this time of year to go to Cleveland, but you know, no offense to Cleveland, I'm just saying weather. But you know, we do want to see Toronto, we want to see Cleveland, San Diego, a few that hopefully we could get a good group together and see each. So looking for suggestions, maybe a future.
Well, Cleveland in the winter would show commitment, right?
I'm in.
I'm not that committed.
Okay.
We had to go to Toronto in July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
San Diego.
That's right.
So that is the end of our agenda, and unless somebody has something else to add, look for a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Sorry.
Future agenda items is still in this session, so I have a
Yes.
couple
Sure.
requests. And that would be mostly just to get that discussion about the gift clause and how it applies to this as a taxing body. It might be a little different. I'd love to have the open public discussion. Whatever we can put in writing for the public to read would be terrific. And whatever other legal counsel, we want to do an executive session also. But that, the gift clause as a state legislator is always on my mind, so.
Great. Anything else? Thank you for that.
Oh, and then yes, was one other, and that is the financials. I think what Andy has requested will cover it, but basically just that I've looked at the annual reports, and it's only $2 million that is showing in the district's funds, and it keeps declining. And so I'd like to talk about that declining and how we plan to handle that in a financial report, which it sounds like our treasurer is going to be watching that.
They're going to require.
Yes.
Thank you. Anything else? Absent that, looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded.
Zach made the motion, Senator made the second.
Thank you for that clarification. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Aye.
We're done. See you at the key session. Thank you all.